Good morning. It's time to get in touch. In Touch is a public affairs show dedicated to improving the lives of Susquehanna Valley residents. I'm Freddi Hammer, News Director at Backyard Broadcasting.
Williamsport Bicycle Recycle is a non-profit group that focuses on the needs of riders in the area, including bike recycling services, refurbished bikes for sale, assistance and training for people who want to repair their own bikes. Louisa Stone's with us today on In Touch. She's a board member for Williamsport Bicycle Recycle. She's going to talk about the evolution of Williamsport Bicycle Recycle, and we look forward to the future of bicycling with you. Hi, Louisa. Nice to see you today.
Hi, Freddi. It's good to be here.
Oh, my gosh. It's so exciting. It's a bike culture around here. I see people riding all the time. You must be so excited when you see that.
Exactly, and we're getting ready for some really good bike riding, and our customers coming in has been increasing.
I bet you feel it with the spring coming, don't you?
Right. Some of the basic things we teach, and also to the people who come to buy bikes and to have their bikes repaired, we start out and teach them, for instance, you don't change a tire with a screwdriver.
Okay, good to know. I'm taking notes, Louisa.
And, not everybody does things like that, but it's surprising just some of the things that you just don't think about. You buy a bike and you think that it's in good shape, and we have people who have bought bikes and bring the new bike in because for some reason or another it hasn't been repaired right. Okay. It hasn't been put together right. That kind of thing we do too. And also, I want to emphasize our recycling.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about that. Is it like picking up metal out of the creek, or is it people that aren't using their bikes anymore?
That's one of the ways we got started. Okay. Because people bring bikes that they don't want anymore, and they don't want to put them in the trash, because we all know that, and that takes millions of years. So they can bring them to us. We get them in all types of repair. A lot of times we can repair the whole bike and make it saleable, and we sell our bikes between $40 and $150.
That's great.
So we can do that. A lot of people then come to us. Maybe they just want to try out bicycling, or they want to just get back into bicycling. So these recycled bikes are perfect for them.
Don't have to keep something that's really expensive in great shape right now.
Right. Now, what we can't sell, we take to be recycled ourselves. We never take anything to the landfill.
Okay.
And that's important for a lot of people that come in. They want the bike used. They'd like it to go to someone who really needs the bike. And if it can't be used, we take parts, use those, and then take it to a recycler.
Also, every Tuesday, people can come and bring their bikes weekly.
Yeah.
So when you got started with the recycling, that just began building inventory, I'm thinking, so people knew that they could come there to find bikes.
Yes, we have quite a bit of inventory right now. So it is a perfect time to buy bikes.
Okay.
Just who buys from us? We get a lot of people who are just getting back into riding. They've ridden when they're kids.
Okay.
Also, people who have grandchildren who come to visit. We have good biking around here on the bike trail. You got to watch yourself in town, but we have the rails to trails near us. We have good places around that you can ride east, like Homing, you can ride up.
Okay.
Anyway, they want to have a bike so that their grandchildren can have a bike with them. The perfect thing, Grandpa, what am I going to do? Well, here we got, it really works out.
So you have little kid bikes, probably up to mountain bikes.
We have all sizes in bikes.
Excellent. That's amazing.
We even have some balance bikes.
Okay. What does that mean?
Well, that's when you get on the bike and you just push it with your feet.
Oh, okay.
If you don't want to use training wheels.
I see.
And it's surprising how quickly a kid can learn that. You think, they need training wheels. And if they just push it and learn to steer, all of a sudden everything gets going and you find out you can ride it yourself. And we've had classes for the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts where we've taught them various techniques.
What made you love bikes? Have you been a rider all your life? I know your husband is also involved, David. I don't know him, but I've read about him. So you guys both were involved. Has it been just sort of a lifelong love?
Yeah, well, both of us grew up, as many people did, on their bikes. And I grew up in the Chicago area. So I was, once I got so I could cross the street without my mother and father dying and thinking I was out there, I did errands on my bike. And David grew up also in a different area of the country, but he too.
Okay.
And when we came here, our two boys and David and I did take up biking because, it's such a perfect place to get out.
Yes.
Right in our neighborhood, we didn't need to, can just ride around the neighborhood, ride around Loyalsock. There's plenty of places just to go and have some fun.
Are your adult children now my age in their 50s?
Yes. Yeah. These adult children. And, we've ridden our bikes over to the Little League.
Sure.
And, this type of, there's just plenty to snoop around. But I've always been the type of rider that likes to ride and kind of snoop around.
Okay.
So we have a lot of riders like that, that like to just go casually. They're not, road riders or.
Yeah, not for speed.
No. Now, we have some bikes that are road bikes. We also have some trail bikes. We just have all kinds of bikes.
You have a lot of support from the city. I mean, you're talking about Rails to Trails and the different things that are here and around Williamsport. Everything seems to be coming together after a long time of planning for trails.
And they're planning on making some expansion to the Riverwalk and, some of those trails. So
yeah, and connecting them
to a lot more places in the east.
That's so much fun.
But we got started with this because we like biking, and we took some bike trips with people, groups.
Like miles and miles and miles?
Yeah, and, staying overnight. We just thought it's just a neat way, like I say, I like to snoop around, so does my husband.
Yeah.
And, you see a museum, you like to stop, see someplace to have coffee. But anyway, we came after doing that for a while, as the kids were growing up. When they left for school and moved away, we decided that Williamsport needed something like that. We had no sort of bike ride around Williamsport.
Yeah.
So with the YMCA, we got together with them and sponsored what we called the Tour de Bill.
I love that, the Tour de Bill.
And the Tour de Bill started in 2008.
Okay.
Going from the east end of Williamsport to the west end. David and I made a booklet, and went along with the why, they were a great help. And we found out for a lot of people, 15 miles was a lot.
I'm thinking it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot in my car.
And so we had, various places to sit down. We had parks, rest stops.
I see.
We did that for 5 years, and people enjoyed it. They met a lot of people in town. They saw a lot of places that they, of course, would not go in a car. So after about 5 or 6 years, things kind of wind down.
It ran its course.
After that, people had asked where they could get used bikes.
Okay.
So that's how we got the idea to start Bike Recycle, which we started at, again, with the YMCA. Started on Elmira Street. They built the new place and they didn't have room. And so that's how we ended up at the Pajama Factory, looking around for places that were near people who might need bikes, but just an easy place to get to.
Yeah, and it's close.
You can just go down Memorial and you can get on one of the bike paths. Anyway, that's how we ended up. And that was 11 years ago now.
Well, you were also in conjunction with the Pajama Factory with other groups of people with different interests. You had the arts and crafts going on in there, and sort of everybody worked together as a partnership, but then you broke away from that in 2014.
Right. Well, why we did was being in a partnership called Factory Works was invaluable for us. We learned how to work with the group, but it was obvious to us that our whole operation was more of a business. First of all, it's a walk-in business, and we don't have memberships. So,
like the clay would,
the clay would, the studios, that sort of thing.
Sure.
And we actually, I suppose you say, we have produced some artistic masterpieces.
Of course you have.
But not in the same classification. And plus, our goals were just different. I mean, we want to be a community bike shop.
Okay.
That offers, the recycling, the refurbished bike, and the help.
Yeah.
So that made it easier. We are now our own Williamsport Bicycle Recycle Incorporated.
I meant to ask about the Tour de Bill. Did you have a sponsor? Did you do any benefit for that fundraising when you did that?
The Tour de Bill, members of the Y and myself, and I had helpers.
Okay.
We went and solicited from, I think we must have had 30 or 40 sponsors.
Okay.
And we had a beautiful T-shirt, and the Tour de Bill was a lot of work. We worked for 4 months to actually get it together. And then after that, it kind of went by itself. We did start at the YMCA, but then we moved to Wegmans.
Okay.
And people were very helpful. But again, after 5 or 6 years, people have asked for it back.
Oh, it might be a time to think about it.
Yeah, and one of the problems is the insurance.
Oh, I didn't think
cost
of that.
And when we did it with the Y, we had the Y covered the day's insurance.
I see. Interesting.
Which is a problem. But people would like that because, again, what they like is to get out and see parts of town that they never see in their car. David and I also have a Little League ride that we've done ourselves.
Okay.
Where we hit every Little League sculpture in town.
Oh, that's neat. Finding the outfielder.
yeah, right. Yeah, we got all those. And we've done that several times. And we're thinking of checking our insurance and see that if we can do things like that.
Maybe a partnership could come up that would work out like that.
It would. And also, we'd like to, since we had the refurbishing of the parking lot at the Pajama Factory, and they've been excellent for us. We were thinking of having maybe a workshop or an outdoor workshop on a Saturday or Sunday where people from the neighborhood and anywhere could bring your bikes.
Yeah.
And we could test them out and do some things like that. So, again, we just started in January 2025 as an independent, and we have lots of ideas.
I bet. How many board members do you have? Everybody working together?
Yeah, we have 5 right as a start.
Okay.
And also we've refurbished some of our own things and our own ways of doing things to try to get more organized, I guess you would say, because when you come in, people really just take this for granted. I mean, it's looking a mess.
Okay.
Not a total mess, but we have wheels and things like that setting around. People donate parts. Again, we just have only so much room we can use.
Do you think that you could move locations? Is that something that's even feasible, or would that take a lot of fundraising or changing?
It takes, because we have rent and insurance.
I see.
And I think right now we're okay where we are.
Like, are there clubs that you support of, like, different kinds of bike riders?
Right. People, we ask them what they're going to use their bike for.
Okay.
So we have the BMX bikes. We have some gravel bikes, mostly mountain bikes, but our general use is just around town.
I see.
And where the mountain bike tire is good for that. The small road tire, we don't sell too many of those bikes, but we get a lot of interesting ones that have turned in maybe 40, 50 years old.
Wow.
They are vintage and they are made very well, but they would take a lot of changing up.
Sure.
To get, so you would want to ride them now. Well, there's groups in town, students, middle school students from the county.
Okay.
And they are bike riders, and anybody can join. They have the different schools, and we've supplied bikes for those people who want to just try it.
Sure.
And so then they can go on and buy a better bike, or, they take part in all the road racing and the things that they do. So
get the kids interested.
Get the kids.
It's a lifelong thing then,
right.
Isn't it? I was curious I know that bike riding and outdoors stuff went crazy in 2020 when we had the pandemic and everything. Did it really grow bike riding at that time?
Yes. As a matter of fact, that is what gave us our biggest boost.
Okay.
Instead of closing down, a group of us were sitting around and think, how could we actually take advantage of this? So what we did was to bring whole sets of bikes out into the parking lot, and the parking lot at that point was pretty rough.
Okay.
We lined people up 6 feet apart, and they liked that because they said, well, I would like one like that. And they could take a little spin around. And we sold them from outside, so no one came in.
Into your smaller shop.
Exactly. And we did that for the COVID. And without that, I don't think people would have known about us.
Driving by and like, hey, wait, there's people.
Yeah, right. And people are on bikes, and we have, the Facebook, we have Google and Facebook.
Well, one success story from that era, huh?
Yes. That is, I think that's true. It's the one success story.
I'm so glad that it worked out. And here it is, sort of the legacy of that.
Yeah.
What do you want it to do in 10 years?
Well, we'd like it to grow to involve more people and do more things like rides and classes. Mm-hmm. Again, we're just trying to figure that out, to get our shop so that it's easy for us to work in.
Okay.
And that takes a lot of work. And to then look at partners that we could talk with. We also give bikes away to people who haven't any means at all. And I work with 5 or 6 different places.
That's wonderful.
And they give me the names of people, and I know who I'm selling to, and we do give bikes away.
Oh,
I mean, rather have them riding around.
Absolutely.
And then sitting in the shop.
Make them mobile.
Exactly, and get them out. Yes.
Well, I hope to see you on some of the bicycle paths around the city. Do you still ride nowadays?
Not as much as I used to. My balance is not as good as it used to be.
I think I'm right with you.
Yeah,
I haven't ridden in a long time either. But that's neat.
I'm better on, straight the rails to trails or something like that.
Can you change a chain yourself? Can you do all that stuff all by yourself?
Well, I wouldn't want to get into detail. I could change a tire.
Okay. I just want to know where your skills lie.
Chain, yeah, right. No, I've done the publicity.
Okay.
And kept track of the money, when there are things to do around the shop, and we have the mechanics.
You know who to call.
So I am not one of the mechanics.
Well, I just think it's a wonderful nonprofit in the area, Williamsport Bicycle Recycle, with all kinds of opportunities for recycling bikes and buying bikes at a really economical cost and helping out in all these ways in Williamsport. Thank you, Louisa Stone, for letting us know all about your organization today.
Yeah, well, thanks for being here. Bye-bye.
In Touch is locally produced in our studios at 1685 4 Mile Drive in Williamsport. To get in touch with us regarding questions, comments, or topic ideas, call weekdays between 8 and 5, 570-323-8200. You can also write to us at 1685 4 Mile Drive, Williamsport, PA 17701. Attention Freddi Hammer. Or email me at fhammer@backyardbroadcasting.com. For archived programs of our In Touch series, you can download and subscribe to our new Backyard Podcasting feature through a link on any Backyard Broadcasting website or obtained where podcasts are available. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Backyard Broadcasting. The programming discussed here on In Touch does not necessarily reflect the feelings or opinions of the management or staff. Thanks for listening to In Touch, a production of Backyard Broadcasting.